Brewing is simply turning grain, water, hops, and yeast into beer. You extract sugars, boil for flavor and stability, and then let the yeast eat those sugars to create alcohol and bubbles. Think of it like baking bread stretched over several days. Both use yeast, but brewing captures the liquid instead of the loaf. Brewing goes back thousands of years in human history. Early civilizations even made beer because it was safer than some water sources. When you understand this big picture, every later step makes a lot more sense. Beer comes from 4 simple ingredients: grain, water, hops, and yeast. A small batch usually uses mostly pale malt, some hops, yeast, and water. One brewer once swapped half the pale malt for Munich malt, and that tiny change transformed a crisp ale into a toasty, caramel-forward favorite. Small tweaks can create big shifts in flavor. Think of it like paint pigments. Malt shapes the color and body, hops bring bitterness and aroma, and yeast creates the final personality. That's why using good malt and fresh hops is the best starting point. When you mill grain, you want it cracked open, not turned into flour. Imagine coarse, cracked corn. A beginner once pulverized his grain so finely that it clogged the filter bed and the extract efficiency tanked. Here's a fun fact: the husks act as a natural filter during lautering. Good milling improves both efficiency and clarity later in the process. Mix the crushed grain with water and hold it at a warm, steady temperature for about an hour. This gives the enzymes time to convert starch into fermentable sugars. Lower temperatures create a drier beer with a fuller mouthfeel, while higher temperatures leave more sweetness behind. Mashing has evolved from simple grain porridges into the precise temperature rests modern brewers use today. Mash temperature is one of the strongest tools you have to shape the final body of the beer. Now you separate the sweet liquid, the wort, from the spent grain, and you rinse those grains with hot water to collect the remaining sugars. There's a story about an old-school brewer who measured his collected volume by using a single ladle every time, and he never once lost a batch. That shows how much precision matters here. Think of it like washing rice. You want to get all the good stuff out, but you don't want to over-extract anything bitter. A good lautering process gives you maximum yield without pulling out unwanted tannins. Boil the wort for about an hour. Add bittering hops at the start, flavor hops in the middle, and aroma hops near the end or right at flame out. Fun bit of history: hops also act as a natural preservative, and that helped beer become so popular. Your hop timing and the types of hops you use control the bitterness, the flavor, and the aroma of the finished beer. After the boil, give the wort a whirlpool to gather solids, then cool it quickly to pitching temperature. One homebrewer let his wort cool slowly, and all the bright hop aroma faded away from oxidation. Cooling quickly locks those flavors in. It's similar to flash chilling tea to preserve its delicate aromatics. Fast cooling also lowers the risk of contamination and keeps the hop character fresh. Add your yeast and keep the temperature steady. Primary fermentation lasts several days, followed by conditioning. Before modern science, brewers simply reused yeast from previous batches, which created unique regional strains over time. Yeast can change the character of a beer even more dramatically than hops. And above all else, temperature control has the biggest impact on flavor quality. After fermentation, let the beer condition for a few weeks. Then carbonate it either in a keg or by adding a small amount of sugar for natural carbonation. One brewer added too much sugar once and ended up with a full-on bottle geyser, so measuring carefully is important. Conditioning is for beer what aging is for wine. Time softens the rough edges and improves clarity. This final stage rewards patience with better taste and better stability. Taste your beer, take notes, and adjust for the next batch. You can change mash temperature, hop timing, yeast strain, or fermentation temperature, ideally one variable at a time. Some of the best brewers are simply the most consistent, and they earn that by tweaking slowly and keeping great records. Brewing is both art and science, and every batch is another lesson. We've reached the end of the video, and I really appreciate you sticking around until the very end. I hope you enjoyed the content and found it helpful or entertaining. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any future updates.